Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Beverly Harper. I have been a psychotherapist for over 20 years, and I've created this channel to, as a space where I'm going to be sharing all the insights, all the tools that I've been using in my therapy room to help people change their lives. So, what I'm going to be delivering is psychologically informed self-help. And I talk a lot about self-worth because I believe that's one of the foundational pillars. I also talk about mindset and flexible mindset. I'm very practical, so I'm talking about how. Not just you need to have, or it's helpful to have a flexible mindset, but how you achieve it. I'll also be talking about values because I believe that if we know our values and we live in alignment with our values, we find our purpose. And if we find our purpose, then our life feels meaningful. And that just ramps up our connection with life. Also, if we're clear on our values, values can help us when times get tough, which of course they always will do. So, today I'm going to talk specifically about self-care through the lens of values, because I believe, particularly as we get into this time of year, which is busy, which is cold, there's a lot of expectation, particularly as we ramp up to the end of December, a lot of family things, which can cause delight and joy and conflict and anxiety and stress. So if we approach this season with our values and approach everything we do through the lens of values, I really believe it transforms our winter experience. So this is value-based self-care. So it's the barrier against those winter blues. And my belief is that if you align your self-care with your core values, then not only does it make this season bearable, but beautiful. Forget generic self-care. We're diving into how to create practices that are really going to be meaningful for you. By the end of this video, you'll have a very fresh perspective on winter wellness that goes way beyond the hot chocolate and bubble baths. Those are great too, don't get me wrong, but there's more to self-care than this. So I'm going to look at 6 different values and how they relate to self-care. So a very common value is connection. Connection, we're pro-social human beings. We want to feel connected with people. And winter can often make us want to hibernate. It can seem like, oh, it's cold, it's dark, it's damp, it's a lot of effort to get out. But here's the thing, if connection does matter to you, then make it a priority. So I'm talking about maybe organizing something like weekly soup dinners with friends, virtual book clubs online, putting aside time for long, cozy phone calls, and they can just be audio. But you can have long, cozy video chats with friends that you really never have time for. Remember, actually, connection is not just a nice to have, it is actually essential for our well-being. So make it a priority. And a second value for many people is growth and learning. And how nice it is to look at nature in this respect. So nature has lots of secrets to share with us. Just noticing how the trees turn their energy inwards during winter. Well, we can do the same. This is your permission slip to start that meditation practice, if you haven't already, to deepen it. to journal by candlelight with some lovely music in the background, or to learn something new like knitting or crochet or darning or tapestry, something that is repetitive and focused can be really good for our emotional and mental well-being, because growth does not always mean doing more. Sometimes it means going deeper. So many of us will have a value of health, and particularly at this time, health can be a compromise somewhat. It's when we get colds and flu. So think about embracing winter wellness rather than fighting your body's own natural rhythms. Move in ways that energize rather than exhaust. Treat rest as productive. A favorite woman of mine who has influenced me a lot, inspired me a lot, is a woman called Kate Northrup. Check her out. She's fabulous. And she wrote a book called Do Less. Do Less. And really encourages women in particular to plan their lives through the cycles of nature and the cycles of the moon. So that is definitely worth something looking at. And also to embrace nourishing, warming foods. Yeah, I'm going to have some soup later, I think. A fourth value is authenticity. So this is where it starts to get personal. Being authentic means learning to say no when you need to. So that is about looking at your boundaries. And I will do another video later on boundaries, because we often need help and guidance setting boundaries. So learning to say no. Creating routines that actually work for you, not other people. Prioritize you, and listening to your body's winter wisdom. Another value can be making these practices sustainable. So that's about creating realistic movement goals. We read everywhere that, minimum steps, 10,000 steps a day. But if you're only doing less than 1,000, that's a big reach. So if you're doing less than 1,000, start to double it. When you get to 2 for a few days, move it up to 4. When you get to 4, just move it up to 6. That way, you'll achieve a step count of, say, 10,000, which will be a lot more than you're doing at the moment. If you are doing less, that's what works for you. Creating weekly rituals that you love. For me, I really love journaling, visualization, and I take time in my day to journal and to visualize what I want to achieve. The most impactful practice I have, though, is gratitude. And I have a beautiful gratitude practice called Living Gratefully, which I'm going to be launching in the new year, which is just daily audio prompts to keep you hooked in with gratitude. So pop me an email, and my details are below if you want to be on the waiting list for that. It's free at the moment. So rituals, they anchor the day. And then joy. Joy comes in many, many forms, but it is a core value. So maybe if you look at joy through being creative, think of winter as your canvas. This might mean finding beauty in winter's more stark landscape, creating really cozy places in your house, experimenting with new recipes. People so often say to me, but I'm not creative, thinking creativity is about writing or painting. But it's not. Cooking is very creative. So we are all creative beings if we give ourselves the space to be. Before I close, here's your invitation. Take a moment to reflect on your values. What matters most to you? And let those values guide your winter self-care practices. And remember, it's never about perfection. It's about creating practices that truly resonate with who you are. I'd love it if you dropped a comment below to share just one of your values that will guide your winter self-care. And don't forget to check out my free gratitude program. I also have down in the link below a free journaling program, which again is regular prompts. People have found that really super helpful. So stay warm, stay true to yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you like what you've heard, then please subscribe. That would mean a lot to me. And click the notifications bell. That would be fabulous. Go well.